Welcome to Ammosmith.com, and today I'm going to do a product review. I'm going to be comparing Imperial Sizing Wax from Redding with RCBS's Case Lube 2. I've already done some preliminary testing with the Imperial, and it's a really fine product. They claim that it makes it easier to do case forming, and I find that claim to be true, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some range brass, which is 223, and I'm going to form it to a 222 Remington. And what I have noticed with this particular product, you get almost no oil dents as long as you apply it right. So let's get started. Okay, the Imperial Sizing Wax is in a little can like this, and when you open it, it's just like it would be in a can of shoe polish. In order to apply the wax, you just rub your finger across it, and you would apply it to the case like you would the other case lubes out there, except for this goes on a little bit thinner. You don't want to overdo it. And from my understanding, the only time you really want to add a bit more is when you're case forming. You just want it enough to where it's not going to stick in the die. Now I'm going to size a couple of cases. I want to show you the difference between this and the RCBS Case Lube 2. So I'm going to go ahead and set the dies and everything up, and then we're going to go ahead and do some case forming and see what the results are. Okay, I have set up the dies, or the die, for the 222. It's a Pacific die. It's an older one, but it works just fine. In the first two cases, I'm going to use the Imperial wax, and the second two, I'm going to use the Case Lube. I'm going to lube them according to the directions and through my experience to see how it works. Let me go ahead and get this guy started here. As with all case forming operations, you want to make sure that you want to do it in one or two steps. You don't want to do it all at once. And the reason is, if you do it all at once, if you have a dent forming, it'll keep going down the entire operation. And if you realign the case, that's nice, you'll find that you can prevent a lot of the oil dents. Okay, these two I just did with the Imperial. Let me clean my fingers off. Make sure that we're doing a clean experiment here. And now I'm going to do the standard application of the RCBS Case Lube 2. I like the RCBS Case Lube a lot, and I've been using it for years and years and years. But I do get oil dents in my cases especially when I'm necking something down. Okay, here goes the first one. The resistance is about the same. I don't notice any more or less resistance. A little more deformation here. Let's try this other guy. Yep. Okay, let's do some close-ups and see what we come up with. Okay. Here are the two that I did with the Imperial, and mostly you're going to get your deformations right in here on the shoulder and on the neck. And I'm going to rotate this. It was a real clean operation on this guy, and it was pretty clean on this one too. Although I did notice that you can get dents if you over apply the Imperial. What you have to do is remember that it's a specialized product for case forming. And like anything else, too much is a bad thing and too little is a bad thing. So you really need to experiment around to see which is right for you. And I found that just a very light coating is about perfect. Okay, here are the two that I did with Case Lube 2. And this stuff here I have used for years, and I had the same problems. And it's these little dents around the neck and the shoulder. Those always seem to show up. this is a good product, but I think the Imperial Sizing Wax has a tendency to not have the problems with viscosity that the Case Lube 2 has. Now, if you look at this guy, this is pretty bad here. That might fire form out, but I really don't think it would, and I would consider that case unserviceable. That's a little too much. Now, this guy over here has some, but not that much, and he is serviceable. The one thing you do want to do if you're case forming is you want to take the die that you're about to case form in and take the expander ball out. I don't care if it's a Lee die, RCBS, Redding, C&H, it doesn't make a difference. Take the expander ball out and take some either rubbing alcohol and a cleaning rod with a patch and get all the old lubricant out first. Make sure the die is nice and clean. That way you're not having problems with viscosity that's from the old lubricant and you're blaming it on the new one. This is a good way of making sure you start fresh and you start right.